We have the extreme pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Kimberly Manning, a decorated professor of medicine from Emory University School of Medicine, who is also the vice chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Dr. Manning's tireless work educating folks through media appearances, national lectures, her many writings in the ACP Internist embodies the spirit of the class of 2021, a class of educators, advocates, and leaders. Her work in public health reflects the hidden curriculum that we discovered the past 4 years. Understanding medicine's history is key to providing equitable future care for all of our patients.
Dr. Manning is deeply involved across the field of medicine. She's involved with medical education, groundbreaking research, community outreach, and patient advocacy. She is a recipient of so many awards, it would take us the entire morning to list them all. In fact, she's won a teaching award every single year over the past 20 years. She is a transformative leader who inspires medical students, residents, and faculty across the country to uphold the prestigious art of best caring for patients. She advocates passionately for humanism in medicine, understanding and recognition of bias in medicine, and excellence in clinical decision-making. Dr. Manning is a wife, mother, friend, colleague, and mentor, and she is the physician that we all aspire to be as the class of 2021.
As you can tell, we are thrilled to have such an inspiring physician with us today as our graduation speaker. So without further ado, please join us in welcoming Dr. Kimberly Manning.
Wow. Somebody very special to me who is very wise once taught me that you should always start with gratitude. So I always start with gratitude. So to the class of 2021, I just first want to say thank you for this invitation and this opportunity to be here at such a pivotal time for you. You know, being here in this moment is not something I ever imagined for myself. And I'm pretty sure that there's at least one person sitting out here right now who feels the exact same way right now. But what I know for sure is that nothing is promised, and any opportunity that we get, any moment in time that we get, we must be good stewards of our influence. And so I want you to know, class of 2021, this moment in time is not lost on me. I am present in the moment. I'm reflective in the moment, and I am deeply, deeply grateful for your confidence. Thank you. And I'm 50 now, so I had to put on my readers. To the faculty, alumni, distinguished guests, and deans, to the ones who helped out publicly and those behind the scenes, to the parents, sibs, and guardians, the partners and the boos, the spouses and the families, by birth and those we choose, to those who helped in troubling times or held your place in line, and even to the haters who tried to stop your shine. Thank you for the special part that each of you have played, the love, the thoughts, the cash apps, woo! The hope that did not fade. But now I'll shift my focus to our special honorees, the graduating scholars who've earned these big degrees. It was a score and 5 years back that I sat in your place with this mix of joy and pride and angst erupting from my face. On one hand, it felt awesome to reach this final year, but then began the tiny voice that murmured in my ear. You aren't the one they think you are. Your knowledge, it's subpar. And even worse, somebody has them thinking you're a star. Your scores were low compared to theirs. How you talk just gives away that you slipped in on accident, so watch the things you say. That little voice would follow me and grow far more intense. And no matter what I told myself, it just felt too immense. And so I did my best to shrink and morph into someone else, a code-switched version of a person different than myself. Because every single place I looked, the winners seemed to be, with very few exceptions, the opposite of me. So I watered down my culture, toned down the black girl magic, and strived to not be other to avoid things getting tragic. So one night in my internship, while taking late night call, a nurse paged and told me, "Come now," the worst page of them all. I ran and saw this patient who said, "I'm so afraid, I cannot breathe, don't let me die." And next came the cascade of paralyzing feelings that I would let him down. I watched his O2 falling, his pressures coming down. I tried to call my resident, but she was busy too. The nurse looked up and asked me, "So what you gonna do?" I tried to part my lips to speak, but just let out a gulp. But then things grew chaotic when I heard, "He's lost his pulse." Compressions and commotion, the sirens for a code. Inside, my heart pounding so hard, I feared it would explode. Now here's the part where you expect to hear about the way I beat my chest, let out a howl, stepped in and saved the day. But nope, I stood there frozen, not trusting what I know. The imposter syndrome cackling in my ear, "I told you so." But that nurse, her voice was louder. She said, "Come on, little sis. Just focus on the human being. Don't worry, you got this." But we is what she should have said, because we worked together, her coaching me through my first code to get our patient better. That nurse, she taught me something, left me forever changed. She saw the light inside of me, stepped in and fanned my flames. With time, that voice grew softer, but never disappeared, and still shows up at times like now and whispers in my ear, "Someone's disappointed that the speaker here is you. A black girl born in Compton from some HBCU? You aren't the one they wanted. Your knowledge, it's subpar. And even worse, somebody has them thinking you're a star." But now I know to close my eyes and say, "Come on, little sis. Just focus on these human beings. Don't worry, you've got this." So I'll tell you what I wish I'd heard when I felt scared to fly, convinced that if I was myself, they'd shoot me from the sky. You're just what we've been waiting for. And see, no one can be a better version of the very best you can be. You're black, you're white, you're brown, you're tan, you're multi-ethnic vibe, the beautiful diversity in your AAPI. You're cis, you're trans, you're non-binary, you're het, and yes, you're queer. The tattoo that you do not hide, the piercings in your ear. The richness in the way you speak, the rhythm in your hips, the raspy gravel of the laughs that tumble from your lips. The way that you express your faith, however that's defined. Your wheelchair or your hearing aid, your size, your shape, your mind. The unique pain you felt and feel when your eyes are forced to see a person who looks just like you, lifeless below a knee. The unfair COVID hate you felt, but no one paid attention. The deaths of your trans sisters too, that no one seems to mention. The thing is, for our patients, our diversity is imperative. And when we show up as ourselves, we redefine the narrative of what a doctor looks like and who gets welcomed in and who will fight to save their lives, and yes, who gets to win. When my patient left that ICU, I sat beside his bed. He took my hand, gave it a squeeze, and tearfully he said, "I'm glad you was my doctor. I was scared this was the end, but I knew that God had blessed me when my doctor looked like Ken. I'm not saying that the other doctors ain't go out their way, but something about when I saw you told me I'd be okay." And I have to say, I had more times in training that were tough, but that patient's affirmation told me that I'm enough. So anything you're feeling, I've likely felt the same, but I see the light inside of you, and I'm here to fan your flames. And so I hope that you'll let my voice linger in your ear to drown out the imposter syndrome voice. So hear me loud and clear. You aren't the one they think you are, or something basic. Nope. But who you are is something that's 1,000 times more dope, 1,000 times more capable, 1,000 times more true, 1,000 times more needed, 1,000 times more you. So if you forget all that I said, here's what you shouldn't miss. Just focus on the human beings. Don't worry, you've got this. Congratulations.